this up on another page. So we are doing a second live. I kind of wanted to do this on something else. Unfortunately, what I thought might happen did happen. Let me just pull this up real quick. So, as most of you know, shit with our little sovereign scam artist kiddos really hit the fan. And man, am I just sick of them. I am so fucking over this group of people. So last night, to somewhat try and catch anybody up to speed who possibly does not know what's going on, there's a group of these sovereign scam artists known as E-Claws. They like claim to audit the courts and do all this crazy shit. They give people horrible advice when it comes to any sort of legal issues, anything from children being removed by CPS to criminal stuff to bankruptcy stuff to you name it, they have an answer to it. And basically what they do is they buy like Black's Law dictionaries and shit and they read it to themselves. And the problem with this is there's nobody there to tell them if they are understanding what they're reading correctly. And so they just run with it. They interpret it how they think it is, which majority of the time it's fucking wrong, which has been seen by them actually trying to put this into practice with several people now. So back in March, Neely, who had lost custody of her children to her mother, ended up kidnapping her children. And the Secret Service even got involved to arrest Neely, which some of their conspiracy kiddos are like, that's because Secret Service protects the Treasury and blah, blah, blah. And, so, like, there's already this dark shift that's happening with this thing, and we'll get to that. But, basically, she's like E-Claw's biggest fan. The license plate on her car said E-Claws when she was pulled over. She was all about it, and it's very easy to tell that she was directly linked with E-Claws with her kidnapping charges, and then also another woman, Cynthia Absig, was tied in with E-Claws and Field McConnell and his whole little group, because at one point these other they're all really at the end of the day, they're not all sovereign, but they all share the same sovereign beliefs. Like Field McConnell wasn't exactly sovereign, but he's like a Q conspiracy, kind of just barf out whatever bullshit he needs to right at the moment. And there was this moment where they kind of merged. And so Field McConnell, E-Claws, and them can be tied back to this Cynthia Absig planning to kidnap her son from his foster family. Man, there's just it's such a hard thing to try and catch people up on quickly. But the overall moral of the story is this Neely Blanchard that was very deep into this E-Claws nonsense, that kidnapped her children in March and got arrested for that. Last night, is arrested right now. She was arrested in Georgia, and she is held for the murder of Chris Hallett, the other half of this E-Claws group, which there's Chris Hallett, and then there's Kirk Pendergrass, and Kirk also does this Kirk's Law Corner thing, which is the live that we're about to see. And then I got this information earlier, and really at this point, I'm so sick of all the people involved in this, and this shit's gone so serious that I say fuck all of them. There's a dead man, regardless of him being a good or bad man. There's a dead man. There's multiple kidnappings. This shit's really serious. I understand that people are grieving or whatever. The thing is I'm not the person to come to for any sympathy in this situation. I have absolutely no sympathy towards anybody involved in this situation because these same people did not show any sympathy towards the family they were families, multiple, that they take advantage of, that are desperate and looking for help. So I can't, in all good faith, look at these complete and total fucking scumbags and say like, oh my God, this is so sad. We need to wait. Because I can't. They didn't care. And that goes for their whole little group. You know, Francesca Amato didn't care when she stole $5,000 from an elderly couple in another country, promising that she was gonna get their granddaughter home, or grandson, I think it was. Same goes with David Jose. Same goes with Kirk Pendergrass. I mean, Kirk and Chris Hallett have bailed on their own people. They've bailed on Timothy Homeseth. They've bailed on Field McConnell. You know, these people they have absolutely no loyalty to anybody. So, first and foremost, if anybody even wants to come in the comments talking about sympathy or anything like that, I'm just going to tell you now, don't waste either of our time because I don't give a shit. There's going to be absolutely no sympathy for me on this. Especially after the live that Kirk just did, and that's all that this live is really going to be. I just want to point out some of the stuff that Kirk was saying in his live, which maybe I'll actually wait to show these screenshots of how I actually found out about this earlier today, because I do believe I was one of the first people to come out with this on my live earlier. That was when Marion County actually updated, confirmed it was Chris Hallett, confirmed it was Neely Blanchard. The main thing I can't stress enough is that this isn't cute. This isn't cute. This isn't funny. This is complete madness and insanity. You've got multiple people running around the country with warrants, trying to kidnap their fucking kids, running around thinking they know the law because these idiots are misinterpreting things they're reading in your first level law school books. Like, they're not. That's another thing with these damn Black's Laws books. Like that's what you're going to get your first fucking year of law school. And now somebody has been murdered because of this ridiculous shit. This isn't something to just tiptoe around. This isn't something to just pretend like it's all fun and games. It's not. It's not on any level. And then you got Kirk over there on his little memorial live, whatever the fuck that was, posting his fucking PayPal and his GoFundMe and shit. Like or not GoFundMe, his Cash App and his PayPal. Like, even, which that really shocked me. I was hoping maybe Kirk would go a different route from this and realize, like, holy shit, this is getting fucking deep. My little partner in crime here, my little scam artist buddy, is dead. Maybe I should back off. And instead, he goes on a live to spin more conspiracy nonsense and then go right back to requesting money from people. Like, I mean, I don't think any of these people, I don't think they have any loyalty to each other whatsoever on any level. And I mean, it's clear they don't. It's 100% clear they don't. How they treat each other, how they bounce back and forth, they fight with each other constantly, they're just throwing each other under the bus left and right. But just a pure, like, I don't know. I wanted to wait to see what Kirk was going to do. And it's very disappointing what he did. But, you know, let's look at what they're saying. And we're not going to watch this whole thing because, me personally, I could never stand their lives. I think they're boring as shit. And it's just complete and total word salad. It's just garbage. I honestly get that they feed on desperate people. And again, I said this earlier today in my first live. My target goal is not their audience. My target goal, I'm not trying to get away, get the people that fully believe their shit away from them. My hopes are that when somebody new that doesn't know about these people goes and starts looking these people up, hopefully doing some sort of research before they just take legal advice from these people, stumble upon something that we've done over on my pages and channels and shit. So that's what my thing is. Most of the people that follow them are too lost. They're just too deep into this sovereign shit. You're not going to get them to see it your way. They're going to have to basically find that on their own. The best that we can do, because actually as I was saying this live up, I was even just asked, why hasn't law enforcement stepped in and what can we do to stop them? And the thing is, I don't have an answer to either of those questions. Even though all this shit has gone on, I don't know an answer to those questions. At this point, like any time we talk about them on my lives, the only thing we can do is try and keep them from getting anybody else new. We can try and prevent them from finding new victims, but as far as stopping what they have going on, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, in all reality, with me like taking a break and not being solid and everything, Kirk's even got a larger audience than I do right now. Kirk and Chris both do, which is my own fault, and I'll fix that. I'm not worried about that. I mean, their audience still wasn't even a fraction of mine at my prime, so that part I'm not worried about. But that audience has stuck with them for a while, and most of them fully and truly believe this shit. It's easy. This sovereign law, this common law, these conspiracies that just like all of a sudden everything's going to change and they're going to win. It's easy. It is way easier to believe and believe in, actually, not even believe, but it's easier to believe in than to believe that you actually have to put in this work, and it's just easier. It's an easier way out, and it's very, very attractive to people that are in hard situations. I completely understand how they find their victims and why their victims go to them. It's because they're lost, they're desperate, and Kirk offers an easy answer, even though it's incorrect. But he can also make it sound good. If you know absolutely nothing about the law or anything, if you're completely overwhelmed by your court case, your CPS case, your bankruptcy, when Kirk starts just rattling off that fucking nonsense and just puts words together that he memorized, he can make it sound decent. If you know at all what's going on, you can tell that he's completely full of shit. It's a fake it till you make it. I mean, he looks like shit even right now. And it's not even right now. Like, I don't know what's been going on with him for a while. I've been meaning to get a little bit more on these two, because another thing, like was said earlier, most of us that have been following this little group before it did hit like any kind of mainstream, we knew this was coming. Like, we knew somebody was going to get hurt. We just didn't know who. And now that question has been answered. So no, I don't, and I really do not think, like, I don't think it's good that anybody died in this situation. I didn't want anybody to die from this situation. There's nothing to celebrate about this death. Like, if anything, Chris Hallett's death needs to be taken that much more serious to show how seriously detached from reality these beliefs and these people are. This is not good on any level. So it's not a celebration. It's not it's not anything like that. But like I said, as far as sympathy goes, I have absolutely no sympathy for Kirk or anybody that helped create this situation. Just plain and fucking simple. No sympathy for the devil, man. And that goes back to, they show no sympathy when they're preying on these desperate families. Plain and simple. So there's no way, there's no way in fuck that while they're doing that shit, I'm going to turn around and pretend like they aren't. That's just not happening. So I here's this shit, whatever this was.
The basics is that Neely's in custody. Whoops. And it's an unfortunate incident here, so we'll have to let people do their job, investigate, verify claims, because that's due process of law. And everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? It's the way that's supposed to work. That's how due process of law works, right?
We're
Every
basically
man
at
is
the
innocent
beginning.
until proven guilty. I'm glad to see so many people here and concerned. I've been watching the comments. I've been on the phone pretty much almost nonstop since 8 o'clock last night, my time. I did get about 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but that's about it. We're all in shock. This is definitely not something.
I think how that was just said was pretty well, actually. Unfortunate incident. His partner was just murdered by one of their clients. Like, yeah, this isn't just some unfortunate incident.
Something that we thought.
This is such a fucking weird stream, and what's been going on in the E-Claws group is just as weird. They're over there already talking about how, like, I've seen a few people talking in a few places that this is deep state shit, and like Neely didn't do it, and like it's some sort of conspiracy that these two were about to take down the government, and so they were taken out, and then Neely was like framed for it. Which, you know what, fuck it, let's just get this out of the way. How I found out about this stay at all was from Neely's mom. We need your help for what? You've been following Chris and Kirk and all of them for years, correct? You have more knowledge of the terrible things they have done. Neely says they were involved in bad things, but we don't have the proof or understand all of it like people that follow it do. I'm not 100% of everything they are. I'm not 100% of everything they are involved in. Neely probably has more info than I do. And then I put them in the wrong order. We can't get the information from Neely. I'm sure you will hear in the next few days. It'll start circulating the groups. Can you keep an eye out on them if anything comes out? Anything could help. We just hate that she was taken advantage of when she was vulnerable. They have done this to so many parents and made them believe false things. Oh, wait, I think I got you. Neely is still on board with them, but you're concerned. And she put, she's been arrested for murder, Meko. It's bad. She told us she found proof and has evidence of them being involved in child trafficking. All the documents she said she took are in her car that they have impounded. I put, oh no, what happened? She put, we don't know, but Chris is dead. What? Neely has been arrested for murder of Chris Hallett, but she didn't feel safe turning herself in Florida. Holy shit. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to keep an eye on the groups. Now, Sue there has already backed off from me. Like, she got pissed off because of my live earlier, which honestly, that's another one that I don't care because I think that was something of enabling this situation. Neely's had issues for a very long time, and there's a lot of people to blame for her path, and Chris and Kirk are 100% some of those people. As far as the claims of her saying that Chris and Kirk are involved in child trafficking, I wouldn't know for sure that they're into like the, how would I say this? The traditional sense of human trafficking. Now, by the technical terms, just what they were doing with Neely alone and having her kidnap her children, then passing them through people that they know and shit like that, by technical terms, is human trafficking. Field McConnell and all of them, like when it came to Cynthia Absig, and they were sending out armed men to go fucking hang out and guard Cynthia Absig to protect her while she was planning to kidnap her foster kid. Kidnap her kid from his foster family. There was a whole system of people set up there. Like, they sent out armed people to sit with Cynthia at her house and shit. Her daughter reported that in the arrest affidavit. So technically you're talking about an infrastructure that had people to help get other people illegally from other states and whatnot. So right off the bat, from what we know publicly, that is human trafficking, like by the technical definition. Now, as far as them being involved in any sort of darker, more nefarious versions of that, I can't speak on that, obviously. I do think still that there's more to what they have going on. We do know there's investigations into these people. We know that fucking Kirk has a warrant. We know that just by their overall behavior and what they do to vulnerable parents on a daily basis shows that they are capable to do much darker. I mean, it's that simple. You don't take advantage of people like that in those situations. So that's like right off the bat. This doesn't. Neely turned herself in. She says she went to Georgia to turn herself in for killing Chris Hallett. This whole deep state thing and all this shit didn't happen. This was not a deep state fucking hit job against Chris Hallett, who's been filing nonsensical court documents with Kirk Pendergrass. That also shows, though, just how unstable these people are. How exactly you even... I don't even know how they come to that conclusion. Obviously, there's an investigation. Obviously, right now it's allegations, all of that good shit, allegedly. When I spoke to Marion County Sheriff's Department, because they called while I was on a live earlier today and verified that it was Chris, and they verified it was Neely. And then they told me that she was still in Georgia. They have not been able to speak to her yet. Mark Bone, I didn't judge him. Not good to judge the dead. Well, the bright side is that I was judging him while he was very much alive. And Kirk's warrant deal, I need to look a little bit more into that. I actually asked him on this live stream, and he wouldn't answer me. He muted my comments on this live. But yeah, I was 100% judging him for when he was alive. I would still be judging him when he was alive. I can't help the fact of what happened to him. And it does not change the fact of what these people were doing. That's what that is, plain and simple.